In this episode, we're discussing the final step to discovering the metrics that matter, surfacing the information to the organization. If you've been following along in the last 4 episodes, we've broken down the first 4 steps of clarifying the metrics you actually care about. So with step 1, it's about having a clear, specific goal with a timeline. Want to start there? Go check out episode 3 for all the details. Next, step 2. For each goal, determine how you will know it is done. Seems simple, right? Step 3. What are the leading indicators for that goal? In other words, what actions are taken in pursuit of getting it done? And then step 4. Determine how you're going to track those leading indicators. All right, so now you've got the data. Great, but what's the problem with just having the data? Oh yeah, it gets put in a document somewhere, never gets looked at again, doesn't get used to inform decisions, and everyone loses momentum for even tracking it, and wanders off to do other things. So, step 5 is to make sure that the organization is regularly using this information, that it is viewed and can actively be used to make decisions. To make that happen, when you build your tracking mechanism, your scorecard, take the additional step to integrate it with something that's already happening in the organization. This is the way to surface this information regularly, like in a regular team meeting or one-on-ones or any other regularly occurring mechanism. Maybe you're like us and you do a weekly review on Fridays. Great. When we create a new scorecard, it is integrated into our weekly review. This ensures we are regularly looking at the data and using that information to make decisions. This possibility exists for you too. But how do you get there? I've already mentioned a couple options. So existing regular meetings or reports. When a scorecard is created, insert it into an existing mechanism in the organization. I just really encourage you not to create something new, at least not to start. Please do not add another meeting that is a scorecard review. It is the fastest way to get everyone to hate it and never get it done. Instead, look at any gathering or data exchange that already exists and add it to the appropriate agenda, report, or weekly review. By integrating this into something existing, the information will be getting used, and the people who are tracking the scorecard then see it's getting used, and that encourages them to keep tracking the information. Ultimately, you may want to create a dashboard with this information. You still don't need a fancy system for this. It can just be using scorecards. Adding visual components makes the data easier to consume, but you don't need to start there. Just start with making those scorecards seen. Once it is being regularly viewed, the simplest visualization to add is conditional colored cells. For example, if data for that particular date hits the measure we want, then the cell color is green. This enables more easy evaluation of what's happening. And with regular evaluation and review, the data can evolve and become more useful. You might find you want to track a different type of information, or that something that you were tracking is no longer useful and you want to track a different marker. This is the payoff of surfacing the information to the organization. But you can't figure this out or iterate as quickly unless that step of integrating the review is taken. Need help or want a written guide for this? No problem, we've got you. Head on over to FieryFX.com/5steps to download a worksheet to help you define these metrics that matter to your business and success. In the next episode, we're switching off of metrics and onto one of my favorite things, tools. Tools can be the best and worst thing for business optimization. So I'll be discussing how to maximize the use of the tools you already have and are probably paying for. Worried you'll miss the episode? Do your future self a favor and subscribe to Leverage Your Spark on your preferred podcast platform. You can also share and subscribe at leverageyourspark.com.